Most of us form our opinions about things we have never actually studied. Islam is no exception. For the majority of non-Muslims living in the West, everything they know about Islam came from news coverage, social media, conversations with people who also never studied it, or a single encounter that left a strong impression, positive or negative. Very few have ever sat down with the Quran. Very few have ever walked into a mosque out of genuine curiosity. Very few have ever asked a Muslim, sincerely and without an agenda, "What do you actually believe?" This is the story of what happens when someone does exactly that. Imagine a person, skeptical, educated, with no religious background, who decides to spend one full year seriously studying Islam. Not to debate it, not to criticize it, not to convert. Simply to understand what the second largest religion on earth actually teaches. They begin with the Quran, not a secondary commentary, the text itself. And the first thing they notice is how different it is from what they expected. It is not a book of violence. It is a book of overwhelming emphasis on God's mercy. The phrase, "In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful," opens every single chapter. 113 times, the Quran begins with mercy. They read about Jesus, about Mary, about Moses, about Abraham. Familiar names, familiar stories, but told from a perspective they had never encountered before. They find the Quran addressing the reader directly, personally, repeatedly, as though it is speaking to them specifically. Then they visit a mosque. They expect formality, distance, suspicion. Instead, they are greeted warmly, offered tea, invited to stay for the evening prayer. They watch as the congregation lines up shoulder to shoulder. A doctor next to a taxi driver, an old man next to a teenager, a man of African descent next to a man of South Asian background, all standing equal before God. No hierarchy, no reserved seats, no VIP section. They begin reading the biography of the Prophet Muhammad. They discover a man who was kind to animals, who forbade the mistreatment of prisoners, who told his companions that the best of them were those who were best to their families. They find a man who, when he returned victorious to Mecca after years of persecution, forgave the very people who had tortured his companions and driven him from his home. By the end of the year, something has shifted. Not their religion necessarily, but their understanding. The caricature they carried in their mind has been replaced by something far more complex, far more human, and far more beautiful than they expected. They do not become Muslim, but they become something perhaps equally important in today's world. Someone who can no longer speak about Islam from ignorance. Someone who knows the difference between what a religion teaches and what some of its followers do. Someone who understands that 1,400 years of civilization, art, scholarship, and devotion cannot be summarized by a headline. That is what happens when someone actually looks. The question is, what is stopping you from looking too?